Space. We are in season 2, episode 8. Am I right?
I believe so.
I never know if I'm right or not. As you guys come in, share. We're excited. We're ready to get started. This is a very special topic for us, as well as some of our followers that we do have. This is a special topic for them as well. So make sure you please share as you come on. Let me get myself together so I can see what you guys are saying. When you come in, make sure you say hello, okay? Excuse my sniffles, y'all.
Not sniffles.
It's the sniffles. I'm trying to get together. I'm going to get together. Hey, Teresa. How you doing, love? You will be delivered. He's here to set you free. And because God is here, anything can happen in here. That's my song. That's Jonathan Nelson. I didn't turn it off before they
Yeah, definitely.
what you call it? I'm gonna turn Jonathan Nelson off. Somebody there. I'm like, for God to change your life. Yo, that's my song. Anything can happen in here. Okay. I think I did something right. Yeah, so I'm trying this new thing where I can see the comments on the screen. And we're gonna see.
Can you see Teresa's comment?
Well, I saw it earlier when I first did it. So I don't know. We're gonna see. I saw it when she first put the comment out here.
So let me see.
But I don't know.
Can you see that?
I can see it, yeah. Yeah, I can see it. So I'm trying something new. Like I said, as you guys get on, share. We are excited to dive into this topic. Again, this is perfect for our new viewers. I'm Lori, and that is, he never knows his name. What's your name?
Jamie.
You gotta talk up a little higher.
My name is Jamie Carter. Is that better?
Yes, it is.
My name is Jamie, everyone.
Yes, and Perfect Space is a space where we share authentic, real conversations. We are very transparent. We're open. We give real life principles. And as we go through our journey of creating perfect spaces for ourselves and spaces of healing, happiness, and love, as we go through our journey, we hope that you go through the journey with us to create those spaces for yourself. We'll get started in just a minute. We normally get started at 9:05. Jay, what you got to say to the people as we've been on this journey of perfect space thus far? Because we're at 8 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
What you think? What you go for?
Well, first, I just want to just say thank you to each and every one, just for being a part of this movement, and I must say, supporting my wife's journey in this. This is her platform, and just seeing you grow, prosper, and seeing God, really, blowing on this is a lot. And I definitely want to say thank you to all the followers, everyone that supports us. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That was pretty good. I kind of put you in the spot.
Yeah. You see how I did it, Don?
He's smooth with it, Doc.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Don't get too excited.
Wow.
Oh, no, we your little earrings.
I'm a man of God. I don't wear earrings.
I'm done to pull up our church live. Yo, you been wearing earrings.
You tell you want to start back wearing them.
That's not what I told you. I told you look nice with earrings. You put earrings on one day. I said, oh, you look nice.
You said
that's not what I said.
You said, baby, I would like to see you in earrings in your urban get up.
I don't care who tell me.
You ain't had to tell me that.
No, I said you look nice, especially with your urban get up. You had on urban get up and you had earrings in.
I would have never want to go buy a $3 thing if you didn't want me to wear.
I never said I didn't want you to wear them.
So which
I'm
one
picking at you.
You want me to wear them?
You don't want me to church.
You want me to wear them, or you don't want me to wear them?
You know what? Hello, Tyler.
Do you want me to wear
KKK.
You want me to wear them in my urban stuff?
I do not care whether you wear earrings or not. It is not going to send you to heaven or hell.
Yes, it is. The Bible speaks against
Okay, yeah, well, guess what? The veil is torn, and we're under new grace. Okay?
But if you know better, you do that.
Okay, wow. You just want to escalate that, don't you? Okay. Yeah, that's another topic for another. But holiness is still right. Y'all, tonight's topic is very dear. I feel like to my heart, and I feel like to Jamie's heart is too. But we are talking about marriage versus ministry. Um, and if for relationships, period, versus ministry. I feel like that is a kind of like a heavy topic, and it's kind of loaded too, because you have biblical aspects, and then you have what we call our everyday, our own beliefs and principles, trying to mesh it in to make our household versus ministry works. So, as you all know, we start off with our first question of the night is, how do you balance the demands of a marriage and a commitment to ministry? So, first question is, how do you balance the demands of your marriage or your current relationship and a commitment to ministry? I'm gonna let you answer this first because you know you both preach about. So this is your lane. How you got that? Oh, I feel it all on your shoulder. You got the Holy Ghost. How do you balance? Hey, Faith.
That's a loaded question. I would definitely say it's trial and error, especially now. I want to get business, still, having to be boots on the ground with the business. We at church, we got 2 services now, Wednesday night and Thursday there, and having kids, and I mean, it's really a lot. So trial and error, really. So I can say at least at the house, we try to select certain days on what we're going to do, how we're going to do.
Excuse me,
like whether it's trying to fold clothes,
baby, we suck.
It's terrible. We got loads upon loads back there right now as we speak. Just being transparent. So I would say in a nutshell, it's really, really trying to really get a schedule that works not just for me but for Lori too as well, and with the kids, because we got kids scattered all out or whatever. But just recently, I would say within the last year or so, God has definitely graced us with Jordan, Max, and a few, and Tay too as well, others from the ministry, to help us do what we do. So for that, they make life a lot easier for us. I mean, as pertains to babysitting the kids, picking up, dropping off, whatever. So that really helps out where we can maneuver and do like how we need to do.
I agree. I feel like the way I balance is I learn to say no, and I keep checking the temperature in my own marriage, because sometimes we get busy, like you was describing. Kind of, I'm gonna give you what you call a day and a week with us, or whatever. You got Monday. I would say Monday is your rest day down from church. We got 2 services, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Rest day down, and then we do Perfect Space Monday nights. Sunday nights. So Sunday we got morning and Sunday evening. By the time we get in the bed, it's around about sometimes 11:30 after we finish Perfect Space or whatever. Then you got a regular Monday. He works on a full time with his business, which, like he said, is boots on the ground. I work at a school with other children. I do after school cheer, all of that stuff or whatever. You got Tuesday, same daggone thing. Tuesday we do FBN with our ministry, which is a Faith Builders Network, where we do our entrepreneurship at 8 o'clock, where we hold each other accountable. We have a class, all of that stuff on Tuesday night. So that means we're rushing to get our kids in bed so we can be on Zoom at 8. And sometimes that doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
At all. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes you got yourself on mute and you got kids in the background, or we're dependent on Jordan and Max and them to help us. Like, hey, can you get the kids here while we trying to go on here? A lot of times we have to call them and make sure they're here so we can be present. Then you got Wednesday night Bible study. And then you got Thursday night rehearsal. And then Friday, sometimes date night for us is non-existent because you got burnout.
And I mean, it's been non-existent for at least about 6 months.
Yeah, hey Twan.
At least about 6 months.
And then Saturdays, one Saturday out the month, there's Women's Invigorate, there's the men thing, and I do Daughters of Destiny. So It's one Saturday out of the month for each of those ministries, but we're on all of those ministries. So that's all of our Saturdays except one or whatever. So if our friends want us to do something like with the baby shower, we went to a baby shower last weekend. That was our free weekend because he had Jesus and Coffee Saturday. I had Daughters of Destiny Saturday. What like back to back. So we splitting kids to try to get kids there. And guess what? That's all Saturday.
All Saturday.
I spent all Saturday night doing hair, cooking, and then bam, Sunday morning. That's kind of like a day in the life of what our week is or whatever. And I'm learning to know how to let my no be not maybe, let it be no. Balance on what I take on. Because sometimes because you love your ministry, you want to, when somebody asks you to do something, you want to do it. But I have to realize too that, I don't want my kids resenting me at all.
And your first assignment is your house.
Right.
And this is not to throw shade on our ministry where we work at or whatever, but this is just saying in general, like your first ministry.
Right, because so much is given, much is required.
Yeah. So, with us, our first assignment is the household.
Right.
And that's what for many years, I got it wrong. Like, blessings would come, but it wouldn't come fast, until I started putting my house first, my marriage, things of that sort. So, for years, and Lord can attest to this, we struggle with actually keeping the house first, making sure that this was a priority. And once we started making this first, like, hey, regardless of what's going on, family, whoever, mom, dad, whatever, like, we're going to make sure this right here is taken care of first. Once we got that together, that core together, our life started going. I'm going to make a comment.
Back then, what I call ministry was actually mess. And I'm realizing that as I'm, growing more in Christ and as God has placed me in my ministry, and I know I'm called to do different things and I'm in different departments and I'm working in my hands instead of plow for the kingdom, I'm realizing what I did back then that I called ministry, because what I did back then, I wasn't burned out back then because it was fun for me. I was going around traveling and singing and traveling and doing things with different churches and all that. It was fun for me because it was glorifying my flesh. Wanted to be seen, wanted to be in the in crowd, wanted to be the known, in the known musician circle or whatever. So a lot of it wasn't ministry. It was my flesh telling me, yeah, keep going. And in that time frame, money went in my hand, but it flew through my hand just as quick as the money came in my hand, or whatever the case may be. We had we didn't deal with our marriage then. We just blew stuff and shoved stuff under the rug or whatever. Just winging it. We were just out here winging it or whatever. I feel like now that we're actually doing ministry, it requires so much mental capacity.
And then to add on to that, during those times it was no growth. Everyone around us, and this is no shade on there.
Was the same.
This ain't no shade, but this is just being true. And this is not to say that we're so high and mighty, but during that time, everyone was on the same level. Everyone was on the same playing field. And some of those people are still there, and you just gotta, like Lori was saying, you just gotta count. You just gotta really, really count the cost. When you're doing ministry, sometimes it don't feel good. But at it is, you should be able to look back in your life within your marriage, relationship, whatever it is, and see growth. Because ministry calls you to grow, not be stagnant.
Ministry causes development.
Yeah, there you go.
One thing I can say is one of the hardest things for me, because I had this picture of what I wanted my life and my family to look like. One of the hardest thing that I ran from it for years, or whatever, was accepting that I am called to ministry. Because I had so many different things I wanted to do, and I felt like I had all these opportunities, or that I felt like I wasn't pursuing because I had to be at church or whatever. And like I said, what I called ministry was mess. Now, granted, that I had moments where I was doing what God called me to do because I was placed there. Sometimes, but God is the only person that will fire you and still allow you to work, not because He told you to do it, but because people's other souls are on the lines. So I was a minister of music for 5 years. At a church. God never called me to do that. I went for the money. Simple as that. I went because they paid me a good check. I'm in a good check. I'm working a full-time job. Jay working a full-time job. And both of us full-time in ministry. That was money. We had number 2 kids. And that was money coming through our daggone hand. And we had no whole bunch of bills either.
That's right.
Or whatever. But God didn't call me to that ministry. did he let me use my gift? Because the gift comes without repentance. So my gift was being able to use in that arena. People were blessed by me singing and leading worship, but I still was not called there. Like I said, God's the only person that will fire you and still allow you to work. Not for you, but for the people, the souls. Because you have to think about it, I'm not called there, but I'm speaking over souls for 5 years straight. That's insane. And there's no development in me at all. But people get healed by my gift. People coming to Christ by my gift because the gift comes without repentance. My thing is just because it's good doesn't mean it's God or whatever. And I struggled with being called. Like I really had a struggle. Like even at my church now, and I'll share this now. I'll share. I'm being transparent. I didn't want to come to my church because I feel like I had so much going on, or I felt like I was exposed to so much other type of singing and music, and I didn't travel, and I didn't stay with all those people. I want to go back home. I want to go back home with this upper echelon thing, like I'm better or whatever. But God had to chop me down.
Not chop you down.
Baby, chop me
with
down.
An axe.
Baby, he had a chainsaw.
A chainsaw?
Grind me up.
Still a Husqvarna.
Husqvarna. Wood chipper too.
We run Husqvarna saws over here back then.
But like literally, I really struggled with coming back. God was literally telling me, okay, you need to go back to your current church, and I'm like, I ain't going. So, and I know some people at my church can contest. I went back for a season and I left again, and then I went back this last time, and I would go 2 Sundays and I would not show up Sundays. And people that love me and saw that I was called, they checked on me, they reached out, where are you at? Are you okay? Do you need to talk? Because they knew I was called, but I was not in a place to receive anything from them. They're about to tell me that you need to be here, because I am somewhat still defensive sometimes. I can say that, but I was very defensive back then. You ain't gonna tell me what God tell you about me. God ain't gonna I would do that. And then my thing is, I can miss the mark by not even being receptive to who God is trying to confirm some things in my life. Hey Robert, hey Kaya, hey Jaquan. I'm gonna move on to the next question. Have you ever felt torn between dedicating your time to your spouse and fulfilling your ministry responsibilities? I can say I have. Yeah. Back then. And now. I know I can say now too. I can say now because sometimes
I don't think I had those moments. My moments is, for me, it ain't ministry. My moments is work.
Yeah.
Feeling torn between contracts and home.
I think mine's come in where I want to take a break or I want to do something outside. Like, on a Thursday night, I know I got choir rehearsal. So if I wanted to ask, the babysitter, say, "Can y'all watching me and Jamie go out to date?" On the date, I feel guilty by saying, "Well, no, I ain't going to rehearsal. I'm going." I feel guilty by saying that I'm not, and I know it's a level of conviction because I know I'm called on it. But I feel like, well, why should I feel guilty by missing a rehearsal? Like, why can't I?
But at the same time, that's actually
what's up, Mike?
That's actually a good place to be in, because that lets you know that your heart is in the right place. One time we used to be all over doing whatever. Wouldn't care. But the fact that you are taking into consideration, like, okay, I am devoted to this, and I've devoted myself to this. I've given these people my word to this, so I'm going to be integral. Right. So that's another way to look at it too. But I do understand how you say that. Sometimes you may feel guilty.
Yeah, I feel like a guilt, and sometimes I don't want to feel a resentment towards ministry because I know I'm called, but sometimes I do have that lingering resentment. Like, on Wednesdays, I want to stay come on off work, because a lot of times on Wednesdays it's my game days. I come from school 5:30. I'm rushing in there. By the time I get those kids, it's 5:30, about 6:30 by the time we get home. We either spending money
and time out, y'all. We've been doing this for the last 2.5 years with one vehicle.
And it's not that we couldn't get a vehicle. God would release us to get a vehicle.
God ain't tell us to get a vehicle.
And we didn't. Since October of 2021. That's 3 years.
3 years. 3 years. We've been doing all this with one vehicle.
That means we all getting up in the morning. Jamie dropping me off to school, dropping all the kids off to school in time to get to his job site on time, finishing time, or if not finishing time, pull JJ, pull Max to come, or pull my mama to come to pick me up from school, pick them up, give them gas, feed all of us, bring them back home, get ready for it's not
one vehicle.
One vehicle.
I'm in the school line with excavators on the back of the truck. Trying to whip it in there.
Trying to put the truck in there.
Huh?
Trying to put it down.
Yeah. And so a lot of people say, well, why you ain't get the vehicle? You making the money, she making the money. God ain't tell us to get a vehicle.
Ain't about what you want us to have.
God ain't tell us to do it. And we recently, God recently gave us,
Permission to pursue
there you go.
another vehicle.
Yeah. That's
one thing I do want to. That's gonna be one of my other topics that we're gonna talk about is God giving you the permission to pursue things.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't ask for permission to pursue, and then when all hell breaks loose, we will God get me out. God said He'll bless you with no sorrow added, or whatever. If all this other stuff coming on with it, first of all, if your interest rate is a 30%, you need to go take that car back.
Right now.
Because you ain't never gonna pay it off, baby.
Right now.
God gives us wisdom to do things, but I'm not gonna get into that because we'll go all off. Let's move on to the next question here. What strategies do you use to nurture your marriage while actively engaging in ministry work?
Sex.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Oh wow.
I'm just playing.
Wow.
I'm just playing.
He's not playing. I want y'all to know that he's not playing. He's actually extremely serious.
I'm chill. I'm just joking.
He's extremely serious.
Joking.
So
yeah, but I'm joking.
That's what he means. He thinks sex will be, and we just did our last segment before last on intimacy. Our last segment was on intimacy.
Cause that's ministry by itself. Y'all playing. You got to be called to do that. I'm sorry.
You need to be called with your spouse, not receive a phone call for a booty call. Called by God to be with your spouse for you to be out here having sex.
So what's your message?
So I would say one of my strategies is I don't know. And maybe that's something we can work on. Like, what's my strategies to nurture my marriage while dealing in ministry? Sometimes I feel like we'll have our moments just speaking about sex. We'll have our moments. We'll go a week without having sex because we just going a million miles a minute. Then we go, Doc.
It's a marathon.
It's just like that.
Jordan, pick the kids up.
Oh yeah, and then we'll tell her, take your time.
Take your time.
And if we get that cash up with some food money, then come
that means go the long way around.
Okay, and go to Chick-fil-A and sit in the inside and let them play it and then play it.
Wait in the line and then decide, you know what, we're gonna go inside.
But I feel like we need to foster strategies and ways to be able to, while we are busy in ministry, don't let that overshadow where we can't spend time with each other in marriage. I've been saying, I know for the last couple of weeks, hey, we need to go on a date. When the last time we been on a date?
Well, we went to Columbia to support.
That is not a date.
I mean, that ain't a date, but it's the close thing.
No.
Well, it's been a while.
It's been a while. We can't even remember.
Yeah, it's been a while.
The last time we actually went on an actual date.
It's just been working.
JJ and Max, can y'all remember?
The last time y'all went to El Paso.
Yeah, December. El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
It was December.
Mm-hmm.
The kids. Oh yes, it was. The
What
kids
happened
said
in
it was in
December?
December. We went to El Paso. We went out to me and you went out to El Paso. We just had dinner that night. We came back.
Oh, so
Wow.
talking about on my birthday dinner that y'all made me pay for.
Oh wow. We're gonna skate across that comment.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time we had a date was, according to our children, was December. That's a long time. The beginning of December, because it wasn't around Christmas. It was the beginning of December that we went, because it was before your birthday. This is the last day. It's been a month.
Yeah,
about to be going into 2 months of us having a date or whatever. So I feel like that's an area we need to work on nurturing our own, because our marriage is a ministry.
Yeah, it is.
Or whatever, and our marriage reflects in our ministry. So that's something that we need to work on. Make sure we spend that candid time together to
but
be
you don't
able
like
to.
time,
I do like spending time with you.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
You been fussing at me before we got on live.
Cause you don't listen.
See that?
You be ticking me off.
See that? You want me to do what you want me to do?
Yeah, sometimes. Most definitely. So our next question is: how do you handle differences in priorities between your marriage and your ministry commitment?
What's the question?
How do you handle differences? Well, I don't think we even have necessarily the differences.
Yeah, I don't think we don't.
We just kind of go along with it.
Yeah,
Oh, this is a good one. In what ways has your marriage positively influenced your ministry and vice versa? I would say we're not a perfect couple at all. And one thing I can say that I feel like it helps my ministry, we are very transparent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or whatever. We're transparent about our struggles, about our flaws. Now, granted, we ain't gonna let all our business out
Yeah,
there
you can't tell it all.
for everybody to dissect our marriage because that's not their place.
Yeah, you can't
Or
tell
whatever.
it all.
But we're very open or whatever. We try to be loving. And when we have the opportunity to talk to other people about marriage, whatever the case may be, just like how we talking to y'all, that's how we talk to them.
Yeah.
We struggle just like anybody else. We shared the podcast before this one, how we used to hide the truck.
Hide it.
That's paid off now, thank you, Lord. In the back.
Pay it off, y'all.
I need to give glory. Ooh, my God.
Pay it off.
But we used to hide that truck in the back. We had eviction notice on the door.
And look at, not only is it paid off, but God's vision paid it off.
God's vision, yes, definitely paid it off. Oh, whatever.
Our company, our construction company paid that.
Hey, Grandma. But I feel like we do positively influence our marriage by actively working in our ministry. And I'm gonna say this for married couples: if you are married and you know that you can put your hands to work in ministry, do that.
With the right mindset.
With the right mindset,
and
not
the right
to be
heart.
seen,
That's right.
but with the right heart posture. First of all, marriages all across the world are failing, but marriages in ministry, the church is under attack when it comes to marriages in ministry. It is always some big scandal happen, something about the pastor cheating on us from here, or the first thing. Anybody got time for that? If you are a married couple, put your hands to work and do it diligently. And if you're not gonna do it diligently, sit down. It's simple as that. Or whatever. We got too much turmoil already in ministry, in Christianity, period. Us as married, united couples, we don't need to add any more fuel to that fire at all.
Right.
I'm gonna go here real quick here.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you this question. So, is it ever justifiable for a person to prioritize their ministry calling over their marriage, or vice versa?
It's never.
What y'all think? Y'all want y'all to answer that in the chat.
No.
So the question is it ever justifiable for a person to prioritize their ministry calling or their marriage over the marriage or over the ministry? Is it ever justifiable to prioritize your ministry over your marriage?
No.
Do you think so?
My opinion, and I said it earlier, your marriage is your first assignment. My wife is my first assignment. No matter what's going on, my wife, not my kids, the business, whatever. My wife is my first assignment. That's the first order of business that God gave me to take care of.
Right.
As pertaining to her needs, who she is, development, all of that. That's my first assignment. So I can't neglect this because I got to go play at a service, or I can't neglect this because I got to go clear some land, or we got to go pave. I got to make sure I'm good here first. And this is me. I got to make sure I'm good over here first. Then I can, make arrangements to take care of other things.
Y'all, he lied. He neglect me for that lady.
I check with you first, though.
He neglect me for that lady.
I check with you first, though. Hey, baby, I can go do X, Y, Z.
No, he be lying, y'all. He is lying.
No, I check in with first, baby.
I'll say this about that: prioritizing over your spouse. I put the title of marriage versus ministry like that for a reason, because the world, and I even say the world, sometimes we view that it is not one in the two. We view it as marriage versus ministry. It is not that. I'm going to use this scripture when it says Matthew 6:33. This is the New Living Version. It says, "But seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all of these things shall be given to you as well." I firmly believe if your heart posture is not marriage versus ministry, and you seek ye first the kingdom of God, if you seek him first, he's going to put what your priorities need to be. Your priority is to seek him. He will give you directions. He's never going to cause your union to have strife. I honestly feel like that. He's never going to cause, but if you're doing it out of the wrong posture,
that's going to be some strain.
It's going to be strained. because you're not seeking him. You're doing stuff out of flesh. Or you been trying to make me choose. You get in an argument of now you trying to make me choose. And it's a whole argument about you arguing about what God called you to do with your spouse, and it shouldn't be that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember on one instance when we were debating at the beginning of the year when I was going to stay at the school, and because the school we don't make money at these schools at all. Just for what we do, we don't. And my other jobs in the past, and career in the past, you can ask Jamie, I made good money. So it was night and day from what I made at my past employment versus what I make at the school. It was completely different. So his debate was, okay, I know you like it, but are you going to stay?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. And I was like, I feel like I'm called for this season. I feel like I still need to be here. And he was kind of frustrated with me or whatever. And I was like, I am not, because you're frustrated, going to go outside the will of God because you are frustrated with what you want my life to look like. So I go back to that question too, or whatever. Your partner has to have understanding. Absolutely. Because I literally said that verbatim to you. And that's why I was crying because I was emotional. Or whatever.
That was last year.
That's what I'm saying. Last year, yeah, last year or whatever. And I wasn't crying because we were arguing. Yeah. I was crying because I was so passionate and I know I heard God or whatever. And that's another question. What do you do when you know you hear God and your spouse is not on the same page with you? How do you fight fairly in it? How do you fight for what you're called to do versus because your partner just may not be that too?
Because a lot of times I would say, well, on that situation, well, we got to take care of X, Y, Z, and I'm looking at finances because I'm a money guy.
Yes, he is.
All right, money is my thing. That's what I do. And I said, okay, God, and this is what I had to learn, in my marriage, and this actually works. I said, okay, God, change my posture and how I see this thing.
Right.
Move on my heart. Then I would go pray in a matter concerning Lord. And he would correct me, or he would do what needs to be done, and he would maneuver how he needs to maneuver. But for years, I will always go just, even outside of that situation, I will always go, fuss with her. Instead of going and say, okay, God, change my heart position, change my posture. Okay, now, God, I need you to move in this situation.
Right.
Allow me to see what you showed her, or what or if this is what you call her to, God, allow her to have grace.
I know. I felt like in those moments too, when we were having those conversations, I was sure about what God was telling me. Like I could hear it so clearly. I was emotional in that moment, not only because I know I heard God, but I was emotional. Like, dang, does he think God not speak to me like how he speak to you? I was almost disappointed. Like me telling you, because we both trust and believe in God. Mm-hmm. Me telling you that I heard God wasn't enough for you to just let it go, or whatever. So I think in that too, my feelings was hurt in the same breath too. Like, dang, you don't believe that God speak to me as much as I pray, as much as God speak to me concerning you. Mm-hmm. He don't speak to me concerning me. Mm-hmm. I kind of took it as a slap in the face, even though it wasn't coming from that place. Mm-hmm. I want the case to be, but I verbatimly all said to him, I'm not going to not do what God told me to do just because you don't like it or it does not fit into what you see me doing or whatever. And I would say if it's in his will, it's his bill. So regardless of what our finances had looked like at that time, if it's God's will for me to be someplace that's not going to pay me the income, there's something I got to, because God got to provide it on another end or whatever. I know Auntie Sharon said at rehearsal, she said, if you let him guide, he will provide. And I love what she said. I said, I'm going to put it on the shirt. Let him guide, he will provide. If he guides you, he going to provide the way for everything that has to come after that or whatever. I'm going to move to the next question here. This is a good one. How does the pressure to maintain a positive image within your religious community impact the authenticity of marriage within ministry? So how does it, so basically, do you feel the pressures of having this positive image or this image to uphold as a Christian couple, as a couple that works in ministry?
Sometimes, because the Bible says that man judges the outward appearance, and and he judges the inward.
Yeah, your heart.
And, yeah. So a lot of times I focus on, how we look. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that we got, our eyes dotted and our T's crossed. So sometimes, yeah.
I think he is more cognizant of the outer appearance or like how loud we get or how.
But honestly, I've been that way for years. Before we even met each other and before we even got established in what we have now. So I don't think that's new.
I think that stems from your childhood too.
Yeah. I think that's
because you are a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
And you've been raised by a pastor and a first lady, a couple that's in ministry. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, which is true.
So you've been raised that there is a certain image. So imagine how your mom and dad felt when you decided, I'm going to drop out of school, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to drink, I'm going to go out here and have all these babies out of wedlock, I'm going to go and
that's good.
Imagine how they felt. You feeling that now. And how they feel that they're proud. They have a sense of pride now. But imagine how they felt back then as ministry leaders and gifts.
So that's where that image came from.
Yes. That's where
I never know that.
It spurred from it. I think it's me personally, I think it spurred from there or whatever. Versus my mama, she worked in ministry. Granted, she wasn't a pastor or whatever, but she's a licensed minister or whatever. And my mama always made sure we look good, one kiss to me, but I was always, I guess, rebellious against because I always felt like that was fake. Mm-hmm. I always feel like that's fake. Like putting on a facade for people is fake. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that.
Or whatever. I feel like now, granted, I will watch my words. Some people I won't say things around because I believe in not killing my witness. I can't say things around everybody because I'm gonna have to minister to those people, and I need to be receptive of what God has given me to them for them at that time or whatever. But I do feel like I care less than you care. I always say I know we are called to something greater to what we're doing right now too. What mortifies me is because I'm so open and transparent that I don't want to hinder what God has planned for our life because I'm rebellious against not necessarily the standard or I guess the perception of what it should look like. Like in which I know you are called to minister in a certain capacity. I know I'm called to minister. I may not be a preacher, but I'm called to minister in a certain capacity. Mm-hmm. Who y'all put that thumbs up? Put it down.
What's up, James? Big James. I ain't see you in a minute, bro. How you been?
But I know I'm called to ministry in a certain capacity higher than what I am right now. And it's always a fear of mine because I see how they do ministry gifts. Mm-hmm. I see how I put my mouth on ministry gifts. Mm-hmm. I see, yes.
Let me find out.
We all done talk about when somebody passed.
I don't talk about the men and women of God.
That's a lie. You didn't talk about somebody, and I try to guide myself down. Like I ain't gonna say that. Nope. I was just doing that just a minute ago. Like nope, I ain't saying that. Yeah. I am not. I got too much on my faith plate.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't say anything, but I thought something last year, and I ain't gonna lie. It came back in the same form
that you thought it was going.
Yeah. I was thinking about something with an individual that we know mutually. I didn't say it to that individual, and I wasn't, bashing them, but I was like, why they doing such, or why they ain't took care of such yet? And like a month later, I'm like, Jesus Christ, okay. I ain't gonna say that again.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say that again.
Like you say, sometimes you see the reality of
like okay, like dang, okay, now I see. So it taught me a valuable lesson, like, hey man, just pretty much mind your business.
That too, and my thing is too, you could be up there and down tomorrow.
Yeah.
And how I see how they kill ministry leaders and gifts, they can't do anything. Like, they can't do anything. They gotta walk on eggshells. And I don't want to live my life like that when I'm walking on eggshells when somebody's always ready to judge my kids because I'm gonna go to bed. And the way some of these first ladies is by, they're very graceful. I ain't gonna have no grace when it comes to my children at all. You can put your mouth on my kids and think I ain't gonna say that to you. And the Lord, I'm like, God, you're gonna really have to develop me. If this is what you call, you're gonna have to call me this.
He's gonna get you where you need to be.
Yeah, but I think it's vice versa. Somebody come and mess with your boy, all bets are off. Yeah. All bets are off. My thing is, how do you deal with those situations in ministry when they say that this is the standard, this is what it's supposed to look like right here, and I got to go against the grain. I feel like sometimes the standard is fake. It's fake. I feel like a
I
lot
won't
of
say it's fake. It's just a person's perception of what they believe their standard should be. Everyone doesn't have a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? When we was serving at a ministry in Columbia, I'm not gonna call that ministry, the leaders carry their self and they do their things different than the leaders that we serve with now.
Right.
It's two different standards, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not gonna say the standard is fake. Everyone just has their viewpoint of what their it should look like.
Right.
That's
Well, see, I feel differently. Maybe I'm biased. I feel differently about my pastor and first lady because I feel like they're very open and authentic. But that's because I know them
extent.
for so long.
Right, that's what I'm saying. See,
to a certain extent. So
y'all are common. You know, we're common with our leaders because they trust us. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is, you know, they're not going to get. It's still a standard that has to be set because you can't get so common around certain.
yeah, well, I ain't
people,
gonna. I ain't gonna use the word common because I don't feel like I am common with them. I feel like they can check me differently
Yeah.
than how they check people. My first lady can call me on the phone right now. Hey, don't do that no more. Don't say that no more, girl. You know you wrong for that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Versus somebody else, I will get offended. I'll be like, you right, first lady. Just like we were laughing about last week when we started to talk about something, sex, whatever. She was like, TMI in the chat. We immediately like, all right, we're gonna shut that down because it's a respect that we have for her because I'm not common with her. She can say those things to me because I know she has my best interest at heart or whatever. And I feel like if a lot of leaders show their heart or whatever, I feel like people can be more receptive to correction.
And I think that's a big deal. That's a big deal too. Showing your heart.
Yeah, showing your heart.
Showing your heart. And
showing
just
your
being honest and being transparent enough. And once again, like you were saying, transparent enough, not telling it at all and not exposing, all your truth.
Yeah, because some things just not meant. Everybody ain't supposed to see, that's what I hate about social media. You'll post pictures about your relationship and you'll post and everything's going good. And if something goes bad, people immediately like, oh no, post the breakup then. You post all the good times you had. Who tells you that you were supposed to be front view to somebody else's demise of their marriage? Who told you in your mind that just because I post the happy times, which who don't want to post happy times, that I got to post all my failures for you to talk about? Because even when I was happy, you were telling me that you was talking about me and saying it wasn't going to last. No way. Mm-hmm. So who tells you that you got to get a front bedroom view to me falling apart?
Right.
And I don't understand why we feel like that too. Mm-hmm. Because we don't congratulate ministries when they paying off, when they helping, when they serving the homeless, and when they paying light bills, when you needed help, when you was sick in the hospital. But as soon as the pastor go through something, you be the first one to tear his behind down.
First one tear him up.
I mean, there's no grace in it at all. No. And then your excuse is, oh, he should be held to a higher standard. He called. We all disciples of Christ. We all called to something.
Different than our office.
Yeah. And they're men and women, just like us. They put their pants on the same way. Do I expect development from my leader? Yes, I do. Yeah. I don't expect what my leader was going through 10 years ago for him to still be having the same troubles. And I'm not saying my leader in particular. I'm using this as an example. In general.
Honestly, last year.
And
2 years, we'll say 2 years ago.
Right. I'm going to use an example. If there was a preacher that got caught cheating on his wife. It was a big thing. It's a local preacher out of South Carolina. It was a big thing because it's a mega church. He got caught cheating on his wife, receipts and all, or whatever. His wife took him back and handled it. It was very public, and that's a different type of humiliation. I would never want to go through what she went through. People judged and talked about her or whatever, and then they talked about them so bad or whatever. He apologized, got back in right standing. Whoever was called to his ministry stayed at his ministry, and everything was fine or whatever. He then did it again months later, and a year later. That's a lack of development. That shows that that's a lack of character. That's what I'm not okay with. That's why I say sometimes that so-called standard is fake, or what the case may be. There should have to be some type of development in leaders, and also is ones that's growing to be leaders in a marriage or whatever the case may be. So that's what I mean by that statement. I'm going to move on to signs when you are having, I call it ministry burnout, because I do believe that we have ministry burnout or whatever. Have you ever felt like you've burned out?
Yeah, I think I'm burnt out now. We're really gonna be taking a sabbatical.
I'm not gonna say a sabbatical. I don't like that word.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Well, I ain't sorry with the word. I just don't know another word to use. But until I find that word to use, I'm gonna say sabbatical. But
I much need a little mini
a
vacation.
little mini
Yeah.
away from the kids. I know kids, so that means Jordan gonna be on it.
Jordan, T, Max,
Yeah.
all the praise the Lord.
But definitely, especially, I think for me, my burnouts be on Wednesday and Thursday because I'm in the gust of work.
Oh yeah, you right in that week.
I'm in the week. I'm trying to close out jobs. Especially last week, I was like, "Geez, I gotta go Thursday." Like the songs they were singing the day, I didn't know because I was in rehearsal, but I was zoned out, sending out contracts, sending out proposals. I'm like, "Dad, we singing this
Yeah,
today?"
he asked us for. He was like, "We went over strong finish." I was like, "Yeah, you were there."
And I went up in flames on the first service because I didn't know because I was just
That's
so
why y'all
not there.
practicing.
Yeah, because I didn't know. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm like, I'm definitely burnt out.
Yeah.
Really, really. And I don't just need, and off subject real quick, I don't just need a Thursday of not going. I need to like leave okay, Wednesday I'm going out of town and I ain't come back until Sunday morning. Type.
Yeah.
Anyway, but go ahead. Just put that out there.
I understand that.
Just putting that out there so you can go and start planning and do what you gotta do.
Okay, you gonna give me a budget?
We're gonna give you a budget. Your new budget. Yeah. Cause this one on you.
I'm not paying for the trip.
This one on you, big dog. I say big dog. This one on you.
I'm not exhausted. I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, this one on you. Well, at least the spot that we like to go to.
The spot? Okay, I can do that.
Woo!
I can do that.
Book me 2 nights. Book me 2 days for that.
Oh no, that high. You get one night on me. That's like $600 for the one we got last time.
I swear, we was there, and I said, Jesus Christ, $600. But after I left, I said, Jesus Christ, that
If it works, every penny in it. It was almost 3 hours.
At least about 4.
Yeah, it was so long. But I was in
amazing.
a snore. Ooh.
And I'm sorry, y'all. I can't name drop on that spot because I ain't want all y'all going.
And you can have no time to book.
I ain't want all y'all can't go. Y'all can't go. What's the next one?
So this is things to identify that you're about to be burned out, and you need to take a reassessment of how to prioritize and how to kind of realign yourself. Who? Hey, Rakeem. Listen, celebrity hairstylist. I saw you doing the hair from her name is Miranda. Well, her Sex in the City name from the show is called Miranda. Kudos to you. I'm so proud of you. Like, so literally
That's
celebrity hairstylist. I'm so proud. You know, my boy up there doing this thing in New York.
Okay.
If you need your hair did, laid, fried to the side, come on, baby. Come on, baby. I'm calling you because I need to be a little situation. A little situation.
A little saturation.
So the one is emotional exhaustion. You can feel emotionally drained, dealing with the challenges of others, coupled with the emotions of investing your lives in congregates and contributing to a sense of depletion. So if you feel like you're depleted, you're emotionally exhausted, or whatever, you may need to take a step back and reassess, or whatever, because you got to remember, especially if you're speaking over others, you don't want to take that and put it off on other people at all. You do not want to do that.
And that's big by itself already.
Yes, yeah, most definitely. I would say a decreased sense of accomplishment, like you feel like you're not effective in ministry, and I felt like that before too. I felt like at the last church I was at, every time I got up to say, I was just like not in the right head space. I was just up there, just to be up there and ready to get down. And I started doing what you call, and praise and worship leaders do this all the time. We start fussing at the congregation because it's not them responding. It's not them. Sometimes it's not them not responding. Sometimes it's your heart posture ain't even right, and you ain't even coming to the door consecrated. And now you want them to get up based off of your performance because it's not ministry.
You want a response.
You want a response. Will people be running around and carrying on based off of your performance?
Yeah, you want
not you ministering or whatever. And I got to a place like that, and I started fussing at people. Put your hands together. God, this is good. I did this hollering, fussing at people every day.
Not yelling at the church.
Yelling at the saints.
Not yelling at them.
Baby, yelling
them
at
out.
them, tearing them saints, turning them everywhere but loose, baby. I was turning every women loose every Sunday. I'm just fussing at people. And I was like, you know what? I got to stop.
Yeah.
I got to stop. This is like enough is enough, girl. Like, you need to go sit your behind down somewhere. And you got to be mature enough to say, I need to go sit my behind somewhere and get me some help.
Wow.
Another one is a detachment, a sense of detachment, where you feel like you'll get to a place where you feel like you don't belong, or you stop feeling the presence of God when you're working in ministry and do what you're called to do. And sometimes we take that as, okay, you go in church and you burned out, and you feel like, well, this nothing ain't working. Now you go and pick and find every little thing that's wrong with your ministry to justify your burnout, to justify your detachment, where really you haven't did what you're supposed to do and consecrate yourself.
I know some people like that too. When you start talking about that.
Yeah, you immediately go to every little thing wrong. This ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right. Well, take what you can do better.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately take that moment when you burn out. Find a solution. Or take your steps back and say, you know what? I'm going to take me a Sunday off.
Yeah, maybe it's me.
Maybe I need to go before God and ask God to realign
maybe
myself.
My heart ain't right.
Nobody ever want to look in the mirror. But I find that a lot of times we take that moment to pick every little piece apart that's wrong with our ministry. And every time somebody have a conversation with you, it ain't, oh, come to our church. We love it. It's like, well, I don't like to hear about our church. You ain't here to speak a damnation on your own ministry that you continue to go to. It's insane that you support. It's insane. It's like delusion at its finest.
Yeah, and we was talking about it recently, and I was saying that you can't receive the full blessing of God if you are basically tearing on your leaders, for lack of better words. If you don't respect that anointing, not saying that you gotta, my granddad called it eating cheese. Not saying that you gotta kiss up to them, but if you don't respect their anointing, and
what you there for?
Yeah, I mean
what you there for?
Seriously.
My thing is, one thing I cannot stand is a combative member. Everything your leaders say, there's always a rebuttal. There's always a rebuttal against the vision of the house. If your vision don't align with your ministry against vision,
why are you there?
Find somewhere else to be, or go and say, God, I know you've called me here. God, check inside of me and tell me what my vision or why I keep bucking up against my house is the vision for the house of God. Tell me why.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we don't do. We feed into that same rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
Or what the case may be. Another one is lack of personal time. Where you feel like there's an imbalance of time.
Yeah,
we've already
talked about that.
We've already talked about that for the most part. Spiritual distress. And that's another one too. Like I said, when you can't feel the spirit of God. Like when you come to church and you everything around
I've been
you.
like that.
Boy, I've been like that for a long time.
I mean, it was last year. I would be on base and I'm like, man, I just don't feel anything. And I think for me, I had a lot going on that I was aware of, but I wasn't dealing with it spiritually wise. You know what I'm saying? Just internal stuff at the house, stuff in our marriage. Not bad stuff, but just a lot of weighty stuff. And it is, I cannot expect to have such a big encounter in the church or in the building when I don't have a personal encounter on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And for me, I had to start checking myself like, okay, well, you ain't worshiping and crying and falling out at the house. So why you expect?
Did we do it all the time now?
Yeah, I mean.
That's what kills me.
We
be in there looking for emotional moves.
Yeah.
We ain't looking for the move of God. I came to church that long. I'm going to give me an emotional move. I'm right here crying. I'm crying. I'm going to run around the church. I'm going to fall and leave the same way you come there. It is absolutely insane to me.
Same way.
I don't want an emotional encounter with God.
I don't.
I want God to convict me and to develop me.
Yeah, development. Yeah.
Just like now, I'm realizing because my bishop is a word pastor. He is not really churchy and gonna have you shout for the time you get there. And there's a time and place for everything.
They told you.
And there's a different culture at different churches. And I'm okay with that. Because I'll go down to Greater True Light and baby, they will wear my heels out every time. But I grew up in a Holiness Pentecostal church.
And I grew up Baptist.
Yeah,
old school Baptist.
He grew up and they had
after deacons, after the church was over, everybody be outside smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
Not everybody. But a lot of deacons will be out there. That, you know, you gotta smoke a
Did you
cigarette.
smoke a cigarette after you played the bass?
No. No, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was.
You go play the bass and go outside and
I
smoke.
would play the bass high.
Oh Jesus.
Cause I thought playing bass high. I thought playing high made me, play better.
It does.
I was fumbling.
Just carrying on
I
it.
swear.
Oh my God.
But when I would get that blood, I was like, oh man, I'm killing. I'm killing, boy. Swear.
Like I said, the gift comes without repentance.
Yeah.
It comes without, because you go in there and kill just as high as a kite. God ain't getting no glory out of you.
God ain't get no glory.
Oh,
But I woo the people though.
okay.
I woo all of them. Everybody, woo.
Yeah, them because they came in flesh too.
They woo. He killing y'all. He killing.
That made no daggone sense. I think that's all of them.
That's it. Toy say, hey, baby.
Hey, Toy Boo. Oh, another one was strained communication. So like you and your partner stop communicating or whatever, or every time y'all do communicate outside of ministry, it's blow up over so small little stuff. It's like I was telling y'all about that sandwich, that breakfast sandwich he want me to make.
See that?
That-
Why y'all got you so stuck in the past?
No.
See, that's why we as people of God cannot experience a true move of God because we're so stuck in the past. God has us here in the now. And he cannot do the new thing with your old mindset. Get out of the old.
He was talking about that sandwich.
Get out of the old. Come into the now. He wants to do a new thing, not an old thing, a new thing. So he can't do a new thing with your old mindset.
I agree, honey. I agree. I'm over the sandwich, but
So
I use that
get
as
out
an
of
example. Get out of there. How you take me out?
Get out of there.
The last one is feelings of resentment. And I think I tried to touch on that a little bit earlier or whatever. Like those days where I feel like, my biggest resentment as musical ministers and leaders at church, period. And I feel like any musicians or people that play and actually work with the music ministry on Sundays and Sundays or whatever, is when you plan your vacations, you try to plan to be back on Sunday to be in place instead of taking the full vacation. That is like one of my biggest resentments. And you mentioned earlier, like, I need something I can go from Wednesday all the way to come back Sunday morning or whatever. And that's one of my biggest resentments. Like, I just want to take a big vacation and now I have to worry.
Yeah, and for me, I just know, like, I'm not gonna say that if we're there, that it's gonna go down, but I just know what
where our ministry is and what's.
I know the role that we play. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's why I say that. But that's you gotta put people in place.
Yeah.
If we do decide to do that.
Yeah, that's one of my things. That's my biggest resentment.
And just honestly, it costs more for me to come back on Monday and Tuesday because I ain't gonna miss somebody work.
But when I plan this vacation, we're gonna be going Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we'll make it for 10 o'clock service on Sunday.
We'll do that. I'm fine with that.
You fine with that? You can roll with it. You can roll with it. And he's gonna pay for the whole vacation.
The devil is
and I'm gonna pay for.
No, I'm not. If I'm
for
paying for the vacation, Chanel Small. Chanel, why you just not getting on here?
Ooh.
Well, you been that woman of God, but no. If I'm paying for the vacation, you gonna be paying for the diesel because we probably gonna drive the truck. You gonna be paying for the diesel. You gonna be paying for the food, and you gonna be paying for the spot we're going.
I'm only gonna pay for the spot for one night.
No, you
I'm
ain't.
not paying for both.
Okay, you can pay for the spot. But
Two nights. That's $1,200, Doc.
okay, but you can pay for the fuel in the truck, in the big boy truck, and you can pay for that's fine. We'll do it like that, and food for the whole week.
No, Doc. No. Don't worry. I'm gonna do food. I'm gonna get us some bread and peanut butter and jelly. We eat that in the morning.
I take my dish sauce down there and be good.
No, that's all right.
Fry them boys up with some mayo.
We gonna eat. We gonna eat what you call it. So she said she was in church. I'm tired of you blasting me.
She said she was in church.
Yeah, they had service. See, now apologize to mother.
She ain't tell me that. I ain't see. I was. Oh, okay.
Hi, Sister Moye.
Oh yeah.
How you doing, sister?
Troy, you back from Washington? I thought you
Why you telling her business what she been at?
Oh, how old boy?
He just telling all that. Chanel, he just tell it.
I thought you been going to DC no more. What happened? You might not want to put it on there. Just inbox me or something.
Yeah, don't inbox him because ain't none of his business.
I knows. She know I knows it.
They laughing at you because you're crazy.
I knows it.
Like I said, we went over the ones that about, being exhausted and ministry burnout. You guys are actually coming in at the end, and we're about to get off.
But yeah, because I'm sure about to go eat my what the thing I bought you today?
Yeah, you said mine. It's not yours.
Ow.
It's not ours
You
either.
love talk about owl when it come out of money.
Because it is ours.
Well, that's our donut up there.
It's not your apple fritters. It's
But
mine.
apple fritters, I'm about to go put one of them bad boys
In the microwave?
In the back?
10
In the
seconds?
microwave? Huh? Who ain't gonna do it?
Them things so good, but I'm trying to unbig my back. And
Oh, you back from somewhere else. See, I gotta talk to you about that. Stay here. You need to be going all out there.
going away.
All out. She all out there. She flying and
She's
doing all.
world famous, okay?
Be
if
world
you
famous
need-
right in South Carolina.
If you need a loctician and somebody even teach you, she is a world renowned. Her and her husband world renowned. He's a master barber.
Yeah, he nice with it.
So you might as well go over here to Locks and Love
Well, I wouldn't tell them to go
and
lock
Pat's
the love.
grooming.
I wouldn't tell them to go lock them up. I've been trying to get her to lock this up for the past few weeks, and she won't lock this up.
Baby, ain't nothing no there to lock
I
up.
got stuff to lock. I got faith as a faith of a mustard seed,
Baby, you would need more than a mustard seed to lock down.
and I ain't want you to put no clips in it either.
Oh, the little clip.
No, I don't want you to put no clips in
You
it.
gonna hurt.
It will hurt.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another segment of Perfect Space. If you're just getting on, please go back and do the replay, comment, share, like. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms at Perfect Space Matters. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. What's it other ones? That's it.
That's it.
If you would like to be a blessing to our podcast, our cash app is $.
Dollar sign EF
Perfect-
Construction.
No.
Oh, you talking about the? Oh, okay.
$ Perfect Space Matters. If you would like to be a blessing
Got
to
about
our
that excavator.
podcast, he trying to get better for excavator. But we love you all. Thank you guys for rolling with us tonight. As we said, it is not marriage versus ministry. Marriage and ministry goes hand in hand. Hand in hand. Change your heart posture. Bye, guys.
Love you all.